Yeah, he found his good truck. Guess he likes it. So I took it away.
All right, good morning. Welcome to the Board of Works, the final Board of Works meeting of the year. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Good morning, everyone. We'll get started. Looks like I've got a pretty full agenda. We'll start with the approval of the minutes from the December 1st meeting. Those were presented. Any corrections, or is there a motion to approve them as presented?
So I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes as presented.
And I'll second that.
All right, thank you. Any final comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. Again, good morning to all. Good to see you on this fall day. Very nice out. Hopefully the weather will continue for tonight's big Christmas celebration, the 50-degree weather. All right, let's just dive right into new business. We've got some bids to open for the Gateway Grove Valley improvements.
We have one bid. I didn't bring my sharp knife, or my big scissors.
All right, and then the bid is from G&G.
Yes.
The base bid is $158,720.01. 158,720.01. The alternate bid the ultimate bid total is 110,800.69. $110,800.69. Again, repeating, the base bid total was $158,720.01. Aaron, do you want to look this over and then bring it back?
Yeah, I'll review it, and if we have a good awardable project, we'll circle back at the end.
Okay, that'd be great, thank you. So Aaron's gonna look at it, make sure it has all the required components in it. All right, let's move on. Streets, we got a road closure for third Fridays in 2024. I assume this is the normal Buffalo Street, Center Street cross, Center between Lake and Indiana, Buffalo between Main and Market. Nothing new. Questions?
Yep.
I'll make a motion that we approve the road closures for 2024 Main Street.
I'll second that.
All right, before I finalize the vote, I just want to dive through all of these.
The only one that's just a little different.
Yeah,
I didn't
they're-
say third Fridays because there's a spectacular that's on the last.
Well, that's why, so I didn't want folks to think that they were all the same. Well, the Spooktacular is on third Friday, and it's the traditional closure,
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it's the third Friday.
but that's what it's part of the
Right, that's just what I was noting.
organization.
Yeah.
Buffalo, Main and Market.
I don't see one for this month, so I'm assuming they'll get that to us when they decide.
We've already had one approved for this month.
I mean, for next year, this month.
I don't think they're doing one in January. Are you talking about
December.
December?
December
The
24th.
December one is.
It'll probably be different,
Yeah, so,
and they requested that's separate. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, thank you. Jeremy, owns development agreement with KDI and the Land Trust.
Yes, it's taken a little bit of time to get here, but we do have before you a development agreement with KDI and the Land Trust. This is for the Elmer's project. As we continue to move forward with development of that mixed-use project, the agreement before you is for $1.3 million, $1,271.98. To that point, the city has paid roughly $800,000 and already paid towards this project, with the remaining being $501,271.98. And the bulk of this money that we are paying is for the demolition and the purchase of the property. The purchase of the property was roughly $850,000. The demolition was a little over 300-some thousand, and then there was some survey and some environmental work that we also are paying for. As a part of this, in the original agreement, there was also some $50,000 in pre-development fees, so all of that combined together equals that $1.3 million that we've paid towards this project.
So these are just, this is the city's contribution to the project to this point. Once the developer agreement has been signed and delivered, then the remaining money will be paid.
Yeah, so this money won't be paid out until they have a development agreement signed with a third party. Obviously, we've been working with AP Anderson on development on this project, and we'll continue to do so. Our goal is to have this project, the financial stacking and all that put together sometime in April of 2024.
I'll just say it's taken us a while to get here, but we're here. Comments? Questions?
I'll make a motion, I guess, to approve.
I'll second that.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Chief, you got an interlocal agreement with the county fire?
Good morning. So this is actually more of a procedural cleanup, because if you remember back in September, October, we had approached the board for the licensing portion of this for Freedom Fire. That money's still set aside, and now we had to kind of do the county maneuvering now to get the servicing portion of this. So this is for us to enter into an interlocal for the services that the county provides for maintaining the database. Then we'll go back and clean up with the use of purchasing the licenses. So here's the $1,500 for services for basically data usage. And then once they approve this and it goes through, we'll probably come back and clean up and resubmit the $1,600 for purchasing the licenses. But it's all sub-purchasing from the county.
And this originated with your need to put, have those licenses available in our vehicles and for our.
Correct. That's to purchase 10 licenses, $160 a pop, to give basically better data inside the fire trucks and actual touch enabling for responses, which it'll clean up a lot of the air traffic from the dispatch, and it just makes our county a little cleaner. And we're one of the busier fire departments in the county. It'll take a lot of radio traffic out of the area.
So basically, the county administers these licenses, and we're just entering into that agreement so that,
Correct.
yeah.
Correct.
And I assume by it being annual, this is a one-time fee we pay each year for the number of licenses that we have.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, it says 1,500 for annual. All right, any other questions?
I'll make a motion that we enter into this agreement.
I'll second that.
All right, any final comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, Chief, here's the big one.
Small potatoes, it's only $1.8 something million. So this is the agreement to start the process to purchase the replacement new ladder truck for the city and the territory fire department. 1812636 is the final number. This is co-op purchasing through Sourcewell, so the city's familiar with this program, and this starts the ball rolling. I would like to take note that you see down there the build time for this, so 480 calendar days, so we're expecting somewhere in 2025. I'm guessing August-ish of 25, but that's just throwing a dart at the board, so.
So Diane Sourcewell allows us to follow the guidelines and requirements for bidding. That company takes care of that. So when you see that we've entered into agreement with Sourcewell to do that, that relieves our burden of having to go out and bid it.
Bid it,
So that's Sourcewell. Chief, the last ladder truck was how many years ago?
It's 2005, so it's 19 years old this year. And so if you follow NFPA guidelines, which we try to at all costs and being cost efficient with our vehicles and stuff, 15 years is good frontline life for an aerial. We've gotten 20 years out of ours, and we'll probably hold it in reserve once the new one comes. So it's been well taken care of. It really is, but it's time to get a new one out there.
And it cost $1 million less. It was
Last
about
time,
800.
I think it was
Yeah.
right around $1 million, yeah.
I still remember that purchase.
Right.
He was
So
George
do
was
I.
talking about
Yeah.
that before the meeting.
Yeah, voted for it.
So-
And I couldn't believe some vehicle cost almost 900,000.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And
It's,
this one.
it's, and I hate to say that there's a time window on these, but if we were to go past the 30, 60-day lock-in window for this cost, it would go up. I can guarantee you. Just because every day the vehicle costs are going through the roof, so.
I keep calling it, the old one, I keep calling it our new ladder truck.
Yeah.
Been around for a while. All right,
It's
any,
also going to be a lease, I think, to purchase this.
Correct. We went through some financing discussions, and again, through our vendor, looked at some of the other people that would do co-op financing as well. We're probably going to zero in on Community Leasing Partners out of Kansas, just because they had the best rates and the best options. There's literally no money down for us on this unless we want to pay up, which I actually had money slated in '24's budget for an interest payment anyway, so we will probably go ahead and start spending on it to cut down the cost of the aerial overall. And they don't require anything up front. We can pay early and get it knocked down again, so I'm hoping out of our equipment replacement fund, we'll be able to keep the cost down by paying it down early, so, yeah.
the details of the lease aren't part of this. This is just the order.
This is just for the purchasing of the
Yep.
aerial itself.
Yep.
We can also use the co-op purchasing program. They don't use Sourcewell for that. They use, it's called npp.gov.
Right.
Which is another co-op purchasing program for financing, but it's also, that's where we save the money.
Yep. So again, this is just to get the thing rolling.
Yes.
And that's why we have a board for the fire territory to go through all this. We usually trust their judgment to make the right decisions. It's a major expense, but if I don't hear any other second guessing, I'll make the motion that we pursue the new ladder truck purchase proposal.
And I'll second that.
All right.
And I probably won't be sitting here 20 years from now.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, thanks, chief.
Thank you.
Get her started. All right, Denny, you got travel requests?
Yes, sir, we have two
Several
travel requests. One was for you, Mayor, for the Plug and Play Summit, and then the other is for Officer Piper to go down and become firearm instructor certified.
I assume Ryan won't be gone the whole entire year, right? Because it says one,
Oh, no, but I'm assuming that that's just
just a typo.
the 1 week there.
Just think about it. Yeah, I just with
Got a
that
typo.
correction.
Good catch, George.
Yeah. So with that correction, I would make a motion to accept the travel request as presented.
And I'll second that.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. Take-home vehicles.
This is for the year 2024 take-home vehicles. The only change this year is that we're going to have a different mayor. So,
Gonna have what?
a different mayor.
Oh, yeah, that's a change.
That's the only change from last year. So it's the same people with the same vehicles.
Will you be walking everywhere?
I've got several,
Bicycles, I think.
I've got several things I could say, but I won't.
I heard you were picking them up.
The car will be in great shape when I pass it off. There won't be a steering wheel, but, no, I'm just kidding. No, there's no difference here.
Yeah.
The mayor's the only one that's allowed to use personal miles, but has to keep track of them, and then he's taxed on the benefit. So, other than that, the rest are just to and from work for primarily emergency purposes.
Correct, yeah.
I'll make a motion that we approve these take-home vehicles for 2024.
And I'll second that.
All right? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. I just gave my car away.
It doesn't take effect till the first, though, boss. So you're good.
Good point. All right, right stuff.
Right Stuff. So this is for our renewal for Right Stuff, which is our timekeeping software. Speaking with Lynn and her office, we've requesting that we do a one-year renewal. Looking at other options for timekeeping that work a little bit more cohesive with the payroll system. So we're asking for a one-year renewal, and then we'll go from there.
So the one letter that was included in there is not,
That-
had anything to do?
No, I
That was
think
in
it was
there.
on the- it was on the back of,
Yeah, I kind of
another
assumed
one.
That was
that.
in there.
Okay. So you want to go with the 1 year?
yes. It's going to be a total of $34,000.
Okay. Yeah, I'll make a motion that we approve that.
And I'll second that.
Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Denny. Did I skip something?
No, I thought the price was different. Oh, okay, never mind.
All right. Good morning.
Morning.
How you doing?
Hey, not too bad. Yourself?
Well, I'm good, good. It's always good to see you.
You too. For the last time here, that's for sure.
That's right, that's right. So what you got,
It's
Brian?
that time of year again with taxi permits. L&L Taxi has originally requested 6 permits. Of those 6, I'm asking for 5. The 6th vehicle didn't show up for inspection, so we have eliminated that one. Of those 5, all the drivers are valid. The vehicles did pass inspection, insurance is current, and registration is current on all of them. So my request is for 5 permits.
All right,
Appreciate all the work you do on this.
Yeah.
Make sure that they're fit to run and everything. So I'll make a motion, we approve the taxi cab permits.
And I'll second that.
all right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief. This is a request to enter into an agreement with a local architecture firm.
Yes, this is the final phase or stage of the training center remodel of our multi-bay police garage on our campus, and just request permission to move forward with this. City engineer, Aeronaut, has been part of this and has actually reviewed this document, has approved it.
Questions?
No, I'll move to approve
I'll second that.
the agreement.
And the facility's been a real asset for the police department and their training, and happened to be in there yesterday, and it's a very, very nice facility, and this will basically finish that off.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. Thank the board and obviously the council for providing the funds, but it's been very good for our department, and it's being used regularly, so.
So, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. And you got one other item, Chief?
Yes, asking the board for authorization to reimburse the town of Pierceton the sum of $20,000. It's for the training expenses. It's reimbursement for training expenses incurred from the town for training current officer for Warsaw PD that was formerly an officer with Pierceton. And those funds would be, $10,000 would still be out of 2023, with $10,000 coming out of 2024 funds.
So this has happened before when we hire an officer who's gone through the academy.
Correct.
Part of their agreement with their previous employer is that they're responsible for that training if they leave. And we feel it's an expense that we would have had to take, and we're happy to get an officer who's trained and fill out our roster. So it's a good move, and I'm appreciative we're able to work that out.
Yes.
I remember setting this up for our department. Working with you to get this set up so if one of our officers leave, we also get reimbursed, so.
Correct.
I-
Yeah, we should have done this, probably done this sooner, but it's just, he's been with us for 2 years, so still within a reasonable period of time.
catching up.
So is there a motion to approve?
Yes, I'll make a motion, we approve this.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Brian?
So request to purchase a skid steer track loader through the Sourcewell. Split the cost between the stormwater and wastewaters for our construction crew we started a couple of years ago. Slowly getting equipment for them. We needed a little larger one than what we had to run some of the equipment that we share with Dustin, and so that's what this is for.
This is coming out of the utility budget.
Yes.
And I don't remember, Brian, how often do we replace these?
We have never purchased one before, but
Oh, okay.
our other Bobcat, we had an agreement where we rotated it every year for $1,000, but we hardly put any hours on it. This Bobcat, I don't know, I'll probably talk to Dustin. You do yours every 2 years, so it'll probably be. However, Bobcat's really not wanting to do that every year agreement right now, so I don't know for sure if we keep it. If we keep it long-term, we'll probably keep it a little longer than 2 years, but if we rotate them around for a reasonable price, and
Yeah, that program's been pretty cost-effective.
It has. We've been doing it every 2 years. They come with a 2-year full factory warranty. We're not putting tires, we're not putting tracks, anything of that nature. Skid steers, the track loaders are two of the most used pieces of equipment we have in the street department. What Brian's gonna do with this, we use daily as well. So just cuts down on the maintenance cost, the cost to renew those every 2 years and always have new machines that are full warranty has been a huge money saver as far as, just on maintenance costs.
But you purchase them, then trade them in, correct?
Correct.
All right.
Purchase it the first time and then you're trading those back in and getting 2 new ones for,
So it's not really a lease, it's just a purchase, trade-in.
correct.
And
At
Brian, I
any
heard
point,
you,
you can keep it,
and I heard you say you will consider that at 2 years, probably see how it looks and
right.
decide whether that's the right way to go.
Yeah, right now, they're not, at least with our one that we do every year, they're not really wanting to do it this year, so we'll see if we do or not, but the price is significantly higher for this year right now. So we're saying we're just gonna keep our existing one.
Got it. Questions?
Now, I'll move to approve
I'll second that.
purchase.
All right, any final comments? All in favor, say aye.
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 Those opposed?
Thank you.
All right. All right, next item is our contract with our city attorney. There is increase. Scott, you want to explain that?
Yeah, so last year it was a $100,000 retainer. We increased it by 3% to $103,000. And then we had been at an hourly rate of $220 for several years. We increased that to $275, which is $100 below the rate that I bill people for private work, so.
Would you explain when you would charge and use that hourly rate?
So the $275 per hour rate is for what we call outside the contract, and that's basically litigation work where we file litigation in court and appear in court. That triggers some additional malpractice insurance policies, appearing in court, those kind of things. So we don't do that very often. Nearly everything's inside the contract.
So a very modest 3% increase in the contract, and then work billed hourly outside of the contract is very, very common. I mean, since I've been mayor, that's the way it's worked with the previous city attorney, so I have no problem with this.
No, it seems fair to me.
No, we call him all the time, so I make a motion, we approve it.
I'll second that.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Those opposed? All right. The next is a series of council contracts. And remember, the city changed their funding of broad reach nonprofit to very specific, where they're actually providing services that the city otherwise couldn't provide in a series of 5 different areas. The first one is victims assistance with the Beaman Home. It's an amount of $10,000.
Well, having sat on the council and gone through this, I'll make a motion that we approve this contract.
I'll second that.
Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, the second is the Animal Welfare League, and this has gone up significantly to represent and compensate for the amount of work that's actually being provided.
Yeah, very important.
The council had a good discussion with the Animal Welfare League, and we're all very pleased with their work and feel this is appropriate.
I'll move we approve the Animal Welfare League contract.
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, the CABS contract, this is for transportation services. No change from last year, the amount of $21,000.
I'll make a motion that we approve this contract.
I'll second that.
Further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The next one is our economic development contract, and that has not changed. It's $100,000. $10,000 of that goes to dues to the Northeast Indiana Regional Partnership. No change from last year.
Very important. I'll move we approve that contract.
I'll second that.
Further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, senior services, again, this is transportation, $25,000, same as last year.
They provided very needed service. I'll make a motion that we approve this.
I'll second that.
Further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, lakes and streams. Lilly Center, again, equal amount
Yeah, very important.
from last year.
Yeah, I'll make a motion we approve that contract.
And I appreciate their emergency response when we need them, so I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? All right. The next item of business is Farmers Market. This is their lease agreement. It's $2,500. It's about half of what we gave them last time. They use this to promote the market.
We should perhaps just note that we're moving off of some of the ones that are providing needed services.
Right, but these are, yeah,
But there are
that's fine.
contracts, yeah.
Yeah,
So I'll make a motion that we approve this.
I'll second that.
Further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Our Main Street coordinator, this is this was contemplated after the Hyatt Palma study, discussed at council in discussions with Main Street. This will go to help support a new position to implement the Hyatt Palma recommendations. So this is a new one, $30,000. And I don't think the individual's been hired yet.
Okay, I'll move to approve.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The next one is the Warsaw Housing Authority Agreement. Warsaw Housing Authority basically administers Section 35 rental assistance, and that's basically, they've been doing this since I've been around.
Long time.
Section 8, excuse me.
Yeah, I'll move we approve.
I'll second that.
Also housing.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Main Street facade grant. That amount's been doubled with a lot of discussion and at the recommendation of the Hyatt Palma. So that's at $50,000 this year.
I'm excited because I remember a time when we didn't use this all up, and now we have businesses lined up waiting to improve their facades. So I'll make a motion, we approve that.
I will second that.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, thank you. And finally, the Main Street contract with Warsaw Main Street, $31,000. That's unchanged from last year. And that's to provide the downtown services, Main Street services, events, event coordination, and keeping good relations and trying to keep our downtown merchants, the buildings full. And they've done a great job. And this is the same amount as last year.
I'll move we approve the Main Street agreement.
I'll second that.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. Lynn, we've got special claims. Got one.
It's got one. I'm gonna get it paid before the end of the month.
This is a Baker Tilly analysis of street and fire department projects for the coming year. So we're just looking at the impact of bonds on the tax rate.
Well, I'll move we approve that special claim.
And I'll second that.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, thank you. Aaron?
Reviewing of the bid received from G&G Hauling and Excavating, it's fully responsive to the bid requirements, and we've worked with this contractor many a time, so we know they're a responsible contractor. It would be my opinion that we move to award both the base bid in the amount of $158,720.01, as well as the alternate bid in the amount of $110,800.69 to G&G Hauling.
All right. Aaron, would you just briefly describe the project?
Yeah, so sure, this is, and I'll remind you, we're rebidding this, so we had a project to improve some of the roadways and alley over adjacent to where some development's taking place by Miami Street and off Center Street in Union. And really as that area is gonna be building out and more residents are coming in, that was an area that needed to be improved. And we had an alley that actually encroached it needed realigned. It was on private property and it wasn't fitting the neighborhood. So we're going to reconstruct the alley way, and it's going to, as well as with the base bid, and we're going to then with the alternate bid, that would be improvements to Miami Street, which includes a sidewalk on the east side of Miami Street from Center up to the new YMCA. Be a way to describe it. That'll link up pedestrians to that area. And it's an area that hasn't had a lot of improvements done for many, many years. And so we did need to go with reconstruction, and that's why, it's costs a little more than just a mill and resurface project might cost, because it's poor and failed asphalt out there.
And it's just a good example of development dollars, private development dollars that are being put into that area in projects that are the result of that to, again, improve the surrounding and entire community. So certainly supportive of this. Any questions on the bid?
As we get these kinds of bids, are we, like in putting in a new sidewalk, we're making sure that they're ADA accessible?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Over the curve.
Anything we do must be brought up to ADA accessibility. Anything with local dollars or any dollars that is a public right-of-way project. Yep.
I thought so.
And that's part of the improvements. It's currently not
Yeah, I
ADA
know.
compliant,
That's
and
why
now
I'm
it does bring it up to.
It's always understood that when you have dollars like that, that's part of what we're required to do. All right, so is there a motion to approve the acceptance of this bid?
I'll move that we accept both the base bid and the alternate bid from G&G.
I'll second that.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, thanks, Aaron. And then the final item is the approval of the claims docket.
And I looked that over.
So as part of my last meeting, I'm going to have Lynn read through each one of these individually.
Okay, we'll see ya.
Just kidding,
Do you
Lynn.
have lunch coming in?
Let's see, mayor, $1 million, mayor,
Just kidding.
Thanks, Joe, no.
All right,
Well, I will make a motion to accept the claims dockets as presented.
And I'll second that.
all right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, any items carried forward?
Actually, I am going to bring something up while I have you guys all here. I have gotten multiple calls this week about the stench out on Argonne. Have you? They're going to call after the first of the year because they know there's a little bit of the changing of the guard. But the funeral home, Walgreens, a store aisle, and different places are smelling this terrible, like sewer gas or something. We've always had a little problem out there.
It's the asphalt plant. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. When the wind blows, I smelled it the other day, and it just usually depends on the direction of the wind.
It's that. It seems to be getting worse. I mean, people say they smell it when they pull up at the intersection and their windows are up.
I
So-
believe it was it Brad that called Miller in, and then Miller called us, and we went out and did some investigating. I believe we're gonna set up a time and do some smoke testing out there to make sure it's nothing from the sewer, but it is from the,
Bituminous.
So you think, and that's what there's, is that what you think that is?
I remember when we were meeting on the south end of McKinley by the Gagey side, and I was like, is someone paving today?
Yeah, and that's what it smells like.
It was an asphalt in motion, but I didn't think more about it, or I hadn't heard any more about it.
I thought it had something to do with the sewer. It just permeates that area over there. And I'm thinking of the new apartments coming in, and if it had something to do with our infrastructure, we just need to.
Yeah, Brian, I appreciate you checking it out, but
Yeah.
it didn't, that smell to me was the smell that's always been there, on occasion, depending on how the wind blows.
Well, that was,
Just, George, keep us in the loop if it persists.
what's that?
Just keep us in the loop if it continues.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, it's, all of a sudden, I've gotten calls and stuff from neighboring property owners.
just a wind shifting type thing, it shouldn't shift back, but it stays consistent.
I hope it shifts, yeah.
It smells like an asphalt, like fresh asphalt.
Smells like asphalt.
That's why I was like, somebody paving roads.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first
Yeah.
There's a paving company right there.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. It's bituminous. It's
Yeah.
way back by the railroad tracks. I'm pretty confident that's what it is because I noticed it the other day too, and it had that exact same odor.
Yeah, we have people, customers, and neighbors, everybody's complaining about it, so I just, whatever we can do to get the bottom of it. Yeah. It smells like fresh asphalt, it smells like old.
Any other comments or questions? Well, I'd just like to say, signing off, the Board of Works will continue. This is obviously a big part of what we do. Oh, you do? Well, that's good to know. Well, you better get up here. You were almost left in the dust. Sorry.
That's okay.
So we have been looking into having Novatics come and do on-site training for our elements users. And while determining how that would work, because we have so many different users of the system, some on the front end and some on the back end, and then we have varying levels of technical skills for different users in different departments. It was suggested to have a usability analysis of our current elements environment by each department to determine what training needs are there and what gaps exist in the system right now. We think this type of audit of our element system will allow the later training to be far more beneficial and address departments' things that they don't even realize that could be done. The analysis would include a real-time analysis of the system using recommendations of best practices to help streamline processes. Training will be provided as needed. Minor tweaks to the system will be configured as needed. A review of current custom workflows, reports and dashboards, and discussion of future plans for growth and overall setup and configurations.
So Angie, is this including both the analysis and then the follow-up training for this amount?
I think it will include some training as they're doing the analysis, but then it would do primarily to see what post-training each department.
So to put some context to this, Elements is a very, very powerful tool that the city has. And it's got a ton of options, but they're all a little bit different in each department and how they could utilize this. A lot of departments have already been using it. We're trying to get it out to where we really unleash the full power of it. Mary has done a great job working with the departments, but it's a big, big project, and we're trying to be more efficient by bringing someone in to talk with the departments, to understand what their needs are, and then develop a plan to roll out individual department utilization of the Elements project and program. So that's really what we're trying to do here.
And then is it the $9,000 plus the $3,500 for travel, so it's $12,500?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, the only thing I'll add is if you guys don't want to do this contract, I did talk to the department heads. We are happy to go to training at their annual conference in Hawaii next year. We all volunteered to go to that next year if you would like us to go to that. So.
Is that a threat, Nick? You should know better than that.
That is so gracious of you.
Yeah.
We all said we'd take one for the team. So.
I think they were going gonna take the Board of Works too, just to oversee it.
obviously.
Nick's gonna fly him in a single-engine plane. All right,
Well, this sounds like
it's important.
it's important and department heads are on board, so I'll move we approve the contract.
And I'll second that.
All right.
So we're actually approving up to 12,500, correct? Not the 9,000 on the cover sheet.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right,
Thank
all
you.
right, thank you.
Thank you.
So I have a couple things to say, if I might.
I didn't really get mine finished, but I got interrupted, but that's okay.
Do you want to go ahead first?
No, I'm fine. It's all good. Thank you all.
So I don't know if at other point people are going to say nice things about Mayor Tolmer or not, but I wanted to say a couple nice things here today. So, and I wanted to say them in front of all of you who regularly come before this board asking for approval to spend money. I've represented towns and municipalities for some time, and I think Mayor Tolmer's really, really unique skill is on display each time he comes before you all. He does an outstanding job of explaining to the general public who may be watching, or the press who may be here, or everybody who's here, explaining each and every one of these requests, or asking you all to explain each and every one of your requests, so that there's real transparency about what Warsaw city government is doing when it spends money, when it buys stuff, what the long-term goal is. And I think we're going to miss that with the new mayor. I think that's a really, really hard skill to master. And so Jeff's going to have to be real cognizant and try to do his best to do the same things that Mayor Tolmer's done. But I think it's been a blessing to our city that not just here, but in city council and other places that he appears, he does an excellent job informing our community of what's going on while you're here in front of the board asking for these things, and giving you the opportunity to explain why you're doing so. And I think that's been a real benefit to our community, how good of a job he does with that, and that's going to be missed. So I did want to point that out, and I'm appreciative of you having that skill and be able to do it every time you come before us.
Yeah, that was well said. I was going to say part of what you said, and just, I've been around with Joe for years, council back then, and everybody kind of knew when Joe started talking about maybe replacing Ernie as mayor, we all agreed that he was the man for the job, and he hasn't disappointed. He's well respected around the state, and he's just been an excellent mayor and leader, and we've been blessed to have you, buddy.
Thanks, George.
And
I would
got
just say, if you're not transparent, you're gonna pay for it. So I've really worked hard to make sure everybody understands what's going on.
Yeah. No, we appreciate
And I got to start my career when you were president of council, so you welcomed me and helped me learn the ropes on how to be a good councilwoman, and then got to continue under your leadership as a mayor. So it's been a privilege to get to know you in that way after I'd known you for so many years through your kids. And,
Thank you.
yeah, so.
I appreciate it, and I love sharing all the love up here, but this is a great community. And we're moving ahead, I'm not gonna be here January 1st. Someone else will be. You will all be here. This board will be here. And there's a ton of work to do. I truly believe the best is yet to come. So thank you all for the nice things. So with that, is there a motion to adjourn?
it. So moved.
All right.
Give him a hand.
I'll miss that.
He's gonna miss it.
Okay, thank you guys. That was very nice.
Sure, just one sec. Hey, if I can see you before you take off, that would be great. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you too.
I never
He's gonna be around.